Hi, everyone, and welcome to lesson 10.5, day 3. Today, we are going to be talking about the angles formed inside of our circle. So, we've already focused on the chords that are intersecting in our circle and finding the length with the segments. Now, we're going to talk about the angles. So, these again are angles who have vertices inside, but they are not at the center of the circle. So, these are just inside the circle. So in this case, if you think about this, we are looking at, for instance, angle x here. Okay, here's angle x. And if we want to find the measure of the degrees of that angle, we are going to take 1/2 of arc DC plus the value of the vertical angle's arc. In this case, that is AB. Now, sometimes it's more useful to us to multiply both sides by the 2. And if we double that angle on the inside, then it equals the arc plus the arc. So let's look at some examples of that. So down here, if we are looking for the measure of angle 1, again, we want to take those 2 arcs that it's opening up onto, and we know that the measure of angle 1, I'll just call it x right now, is 1/2 of arc plus arc that it's opening up onto. So 1/2 of 80 plus 40, which is 120, is 60 degrees. In our second example, notice angle 1 is actually over here, opening up onto arcs AD and BC. So what we're actually going to do first is solve for this angle here next to it that's supplementary to it by taking 1/2 of arc plus arc. So in this case, 1/2 of 56 plus 126 is 182. So half of that is 91. So we know inside of this that this angle right here is 91 degrees. And then we know that angle 1 is going to be supplementary to that. So if we do 180 minus 91, we know that angle 1 is going to actually be 89 degrees. So there are 2 examples for you to try. This first one, you are just looking for the measure of angle 1. Look at the arcs it's opening up onto. The second one, you are looking for the measure of angle 1, but reminder, you are going to need to solve for its supplementary buddy first. Down below, we have another set of examples. This time, they are having us label the picture. So they're telling us that angle WAX is 60, arc WX is 100, and we want to find the measure of YZ over here, this little arc. So this is where that second formula that we were talking about ends up being very useful, because what we notice is when we initially set up our picture, we have the angle this time being given, and we know that that equals 1/2 of arc that it opens up onto plus the vertical angle's arc. So in order to start solving this, we want to get rid of this 1/2 by doubling both sides. So if we double that angle, then it's just going to equal arc plus arc. So this is nicer than distributing that 1/2 through. So we end up with 2 times 60, which is 120. And then when we subtract away the 100, we end up getting our arc to be 20 degrees. And again, that makes sense if you plug it back in to double check. 1/2 of 100 plus the 20 is 60, so we can double check that looks like it worked out. The second example this time tells us that angle WAZ, this one right here, is 125. Arc WZ is 75, and we want the measure of YX. So again, when we're given that angle on the inside, we know it equals 1/2 of arc plus arc. So again, our best way to solve this is to double both sides. So really we end up doubling the 125 to get rid of that 1/2. and then we just have x plus 75 on the other side. So 2 times 125 is 250. And when we subtract away the 75, our arc this time is 175 degrees. On the back, there is one for you to try already labeled. This time you are solving for the value of arc and S. Our third set of examples this time is dealing with us solving for variable x. So similar to what we were doing before, when we're given that angle on the inside, we know it has to equal 1/2 of arc 1 over here plus the other arc it's opening up onto, which is 23x plus 2. Well, again, the easier solution here to get rid of this 1/2 is to double our 82. So 82 times 2 is 164. And on the right-hand side, we're going to simplify 16x plus 23x. We have 39x's. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. Subtract over the 8 from both sides. We end up with 156 equals 39x. Divide both sides by 39. X is equal to 4. In our second example, we are given that our angle on the inside this time is 107. And again, we know that that's going to equal 1/2 of the arc it opens up onto, 14x plus 15, plus the vertical angles arc, 5x plus 9. Oops. So again, the easiest way to get rid of this is to double both sides. So we get rid of the 1/2. 2 times 107 is 214. And on the right-hand side, 14x plus 5x is 19x's. 15 plus 9 is 24. Subtract the 24 from both sides. We end up with 190 on the left-hand side. And then divide by the 19, x is equal to 10. There is a you try example this time. You are given our angle inside is 66, and you want to solve for x given those arc measures. All right, we have one last example. Putting it all together, we are going to use the figure to solve in each of the following. So in the first one, if they're telling us that arc A is 40 and arc B is 80, what's the measure of angle 1 on the inside? Well, again, we know that the measure of angle 1 is going to equal 1/2 of arc plus arc. So half of 40 plus 80 is 60 degrees. And then the measure of angle 2, its supplementary buddy next to it, would require us to subtract from 180 to then find angle 2 to be 120 degrees. In part C, we are given this time that the measure of the angle on the inside is 65. Arc A is 40. How big is arc B? So when you're given the angle on the inside, we know it measures 1/2 of arc plus arc. So double the angle to get rid of that 1/2. We end up with 130 equals 40 plus x. Subtract the 40 from each side, and x ends up equaling 90 degrees for that one. And then our last piece on here, we are looking for the measure of the the value of x given the angle is 5x plus 3. Arc A is 4x minus 4. Arc B is 100. So we have the angle, and then we know that equals 1/2 of arc plus arc. I advise you to double that angle to get rid of the 1/2 so we don't have to deal with a fraction. And when we distribute, we end up with 10x plus 6. And then on the right-hand side, we have 4x minus -4, but plus 100 is 96. Subtract from both sides the 4x, we end up with 6x equals 96. And if we subtract then the 6 from each side, we end up with 6x equals 90. Divide both sides by 6, x is 15. So that in a nutshell are each of the examples from today. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll work more with these in class.